We have three electric cars here. This one is a Chevy Volt. In winter driving, we lose up to 36% of its range. It's under ideal conditions, and ideal conditions for a lithium-ion battery car, doesn't matter what brand it is, Tesla or whatever, is between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'd say about 19 degrees centigrade is an ideal condition where you don't have to have the air conditioning on, you don't have to have anything on, and you'll get 54 miles of range if you drive 56 miles an hour, maybe 60, or 100 kilometers an hour. And so that'll go 54 miles under ideal conditions. But I'm talking about just driving down the highway. Stop and go traffic, you might get 60 miles per gallon. But we live in the country, so we will be out of range before we ever get any stop and go traffic. The Chevy Bolt, which is that one right there, ideally under 65 degrees Fahrenheit, it's supposed to get 238 miles of range, but it will only do that under ideal conditions. And that's probably driving 56 miles an hour on the highway at between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the last electric car is this one over here. That is a 2000. These are all 2017s, and this is a 2017 that was in an accident. So it got hit on the back and hit on the front, and it will go into neutral or park, but not into gear. And everything in between these two spots is perfectly okay. So all four doors, the seats, any of the interior, and the left headlight assembly is okay. But as you can see, the rear portion is got hit above the bumper. So that has been totally damaged. What I'm going to take out of it is the battery, the AC to DC charger. It's supposed to be 7.3 kilowatt hours, and the J1772 plug, and all the attachments. So I can take the battery out, charge it through 240 volts. I have a plan for it, and the battery pack I'm going to try to use as a 355 volt battery pack and use it for a string inverter that will take that voltage and produce 5,000 watts. And hopefully we'll put it in my garage and be able to charge this car and this and the Chevy Volt. Now, this morning when I drove the Bolt, which I'm doing some grain hauling right now, it was 12 below zero. And the range of that on 100% charge is probably 135 miles. The range of the Volt electric range is probably 35 to 42 miles at 12 below zero. Keep in mind that the Volt is one we usually drive in the winter time when it's really this cold, because we have to drive 75 miles to even go shopping, really, where we can have some major shopping. 75 miles one way. So the Bolt will not make a round trip without having an extra charge put in, because it's all freeway. And that's if I drive 62 miles an hour or slower. I can almost make it round trip, but no, I can't make it round trip when it's this cold. Right now it is, I would say about 7 degrees above zero Fahrenheit. So if it gets about 40 degrees, I can make a round trip in the Bolt. A round trip if I fully charge it. And because we drive about 150 miles, so it'll go 150 miles at 40 degrees, but not when it's this cold. So anybody tries to tell you that lithium-ion batteries are not affected by the cold, it is not true. It doesn't matter, as I say, what car you drive, Tesla, Kia, Hyundai, probably the bigger battery packs are probably more affected because they got more to heat. Even though these do have built-in heater coolers in them, ideally you got your wind resistance because the air is more dense, You got tire resistance because we have snow tires on both cars. Not on that one over there. Not on the Black Beauty over there. That doesn't have snow tires on it because the only way I get that around is tow it. So you got rolling resistance, you got air density, and you got fluids that are cold in your drive units. It's just not efficient. And so I lose about 36% at this temperature, about 0, 10 below 0, 36% in the Bolt. I use between 40 and 46%. The Bolt EV being that one right there. This is my favorite car. I had a choice of getting that car. It was on the showroom floor in Salt Lake City, and I was test driving a Tesla Model S 2013, and the Model S was about $4,000 more than that, had 80,000 miles on it. When I drove this car, I wanted the smaller car. I wanted a hatchback, which the Model S is a hatchback too, but I wanted front wheel drive because I don't know if you can see it, but in our front yard we have about 2 feet of snow, so it snows a lot here in the wintertime most of the years. So your winter range is going to be affected no matter what car. And the reason this car we have to drive, it will not run pure electric going out of here. The gasoline engine will come on and go off, come on, go off, come on and go off, all the way at range. In fact, we can drive all the way to Winnipeg, which is about 75 miles north of here, we would deplete the battery before we got there, because of that 40 miles it probably has a range. We could drive 70 miles because 30 miles of that would be on gasoline. You cannot control it. It comes on automatically. It will not run fully electric in this cold. We drive that because we have to. I prefer to drive that one wherever we go. So that is the condition of winter range. Now, to go back to Black Beauty over here, this particular car, I'm going to sell all the components of this car except for the 3 things that I mentioned. Well, tires and rims I want to keep for our other car, or the other, because they'll fit on both the Volt and the Bolt EV. But 4 doors, seats, anything inside, that's all for sale. So if you are interested in anything off a Bolt, doors or whatever, just leave a comment down below. Thank you very much.